Okay. So we're gonna be testing some balance changes things. We're playing against the Silent One, Master One. Unlike Shaden, who's Diamond One. But so yeah, Master One Terran versus the new Zealots. Let's see what happens. Zer, thank you for gifting the sub to Goat, Lord, and Master. Goat, welcome, Goaty boy. CPP for everything for the 100 bits. I'm more excited for the patch notes than for my birthday. Me too. Actually, I never get excited about my birthday. I don't know why. I'm not big on birthdays. I mean, I like receiving gifts, but, you know, I'm not like, whoa, I'm 1 year older. You know, who cares? Melly Farrak, thanks so much for the 100 bits. This is charge, speed of charge. Hey, we're about to see the charge go in action. Literally about to see it. Garp, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime as well. Thank you, thank you. Oh wait, this is my main account, so I actually have the Zealot skins. Ooh. Oh la la. Oh la la. The Brood War Zealots with the Brood War upgrade now as well.
Need more minerals for that. That'll cost more money. We don't have enough minerals.
Should I beat him with just Zealots, guys? Like, should I literally just go Zealots and nothing else? That'd be pretty funny. Just double forge Zealots.
Need more minerals for that. We don't have enough minerals.
I think I should.
That'll cost more minerals than we have.
Oh, I received today my oh no, come on, man. I received my Blizzard virtual ticket today. I got the I should have actually my Ultralisk skin. Ooh, they actually look really cool. The new the StarCraft 1 Battlecruiser skin, which is like almost the same as the StarCraft 2 Battlecruiser, so who cares? And I'm gonna open.
Give us your
More minerals for that.
faith. Yes, come.
And StarCraft 1 Carrier, which also looks pretty cool. I'm gonna open Blink just to be able to kill the medevacs and stuff.
Where we give us.
When I said I'm gonna go mass Zealot and only Zealot, I meant like main army comp. I'm not gonna do.
Let your will. Where shall we march?
Sorry if you were misled.
Give up. Yes, executor.
We don't have enough. That'll cost more. Need more minerals for that.
We serve with pride.
We don't have enough minerals. That'll cost more minerals than we have.
Reactor Mariners.
Need more minerals. Research complete.
Ire. Combat awaits. Yes, executor. We serve with pride.
Okay, I see what you're doing. Okay.
Energy's too low.
don't think he's gonna go into main. Man, I'm so excited to make some zealots with that charge.
Can't warp that in. We don't have enough minerals.
Wait, is he not gonna push?
I guess that can't work without a power field.
Why not?
You require cold is the void.
Amazing blink.
You require my skills. I am stick. You require my skills. I am the heart of darkness.
More minerals for that. That'll cost more minerals than we have. We don't have enough minerals. Not enough energy. Need more minerals for that. Energy's too low.
I am the voice of the eclipse.
Yeah, look at those zealots. Look at those zealots. Four base Protoss, 2 base there. Oh no, I just lost.
We don't have enough minerals.
Oh, I was like, why are they so slow? And then I realized I don't have the
I am the heart of darkness.
Upgrade is ready for you. Not enough energy. That'll cost more minerals than we have.
Look how fast they are! What the fuck?
I guess that can't work without a power field.
The hell?
My meditation.
More minerals for that.
Look how fast they are, holy shit.
Justice.
This is so funny. Like, the fact that they have charge and this movement speed is so funny to me. Like, they just look funny when they're running. Look at them. Whee! They're so fast. Holy shit, Protoss. Look at this. Whee!
Nothing left in that mineral cluster.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
I don't know, like, I mean, like, guys, you know, obviously I'll be honest, like, I'm not winning because of these zealots, right? Like,
Upgrade
the skill difference is high, like, you know, it's like 1,000 plus MMR.
mineral field.
So, I'm not saying this is broken, but this just looks funny. Like, look how fast they are. doesn't, like, I don't know, like, maybe it's only me, but it doesn't really seem natural. It seems kind of weird for the Zealots to be moving this fast.
We don't have enough minerals.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, in my opinion, Protoss army shouldn't be this mobile. Like, look how fast it is! Not to mention, this is gonna be like a gigantic nerf against mech. I got wrecked. I guess the damage from no charge is like kind of big, but it still looks very funny. I don't know what to think about it, honestly. Now, okay, so now, like, playing with it, obviously the Zealot, like, if this was a normal Zealot that deals damage and charge, I would have won this game already, by the way. Like, 100%. I win this game with, like, just those pushes. But because the Zealots don't do damage anymore in charge, you can see that the engagements are much harder for Protoss. But maybe this is the way for Blizzard to do what they wanted, which is to have Adepts and Zealots have different roles. But I'm gonna say it again, I think the best way to go about this is probably having it so that the Zealots have more health and movement speed like this without the charge.
Thanks for all YouTube videos that I watch like every day.
Because I think that would make a lot more sense in my head. I don't know.
Research complete. Construct additional pylons.
Glorious combat is upon us.
Because right now, and if they did a different change to the Adept Glaives, then
More pylons are required.
like give it some kind of damage, you know, kind of thing, then I think this would make more sense. But to me, this just looks really funny. In all honesty.
Our warriors are under attack.
We are our minds. We seek enlightenment. We seek enlightenment. We shall stand against the darkness. Hola, we are. Our minds are as we.
Our base is under attack.
Focus. We are done.
Our base is under attack. Research complete. Mineral fish, our probes are under attack. Our base is under attack. Mineral field.
I don't know. We'll talk about it more after this game. This is GG. So, the Zealot, like, even after playing just one game, I can definitely feel that the Zealot's strength has fallen off, like, in straight up engagements. I definitely feel that. Now, can we have do we have a Master 1 Zerg, by the way, in the chat? Can someone play Zerg? Master 1, Master 2. preferably Master 1 or GM. It is on damage nerf, and I'm definitely feeling it. So when I engage, again, when I was attacking the third, that's usually a game over, by the way. Like, because I was so far ahead, I crushed this push. And after that, you usually go across. I had 2 top cruisers 1-1. I should have won that 100%. But because the charge doesn't do damage anymore, you can see that their, well, damage is just not as good. And they kind of stray away from the role of DPS into tanking. And, oh, he's Master 1 Zerg as well. Okay, we're going to do a regame then. It goes into like tanking kind of role and like engaging and maybe fighting against, you know, slow units, sieged up units, stuff like that. But I still do feel that having the Zealots move faster and charge as well is overlapping, and it just looks weird to me. It doesn't really seem natural. Now that they removed the charge damage, in my opinion, they would have to give adepts some kind of damage buff. Now, what I'm thinking is what they can do is they could have it so that, I don't know, when you upgrade the glaives, maybe the adepts get like 20% attack speed and then the glaives bounce, like kind of like the Mutalisk, right? I think that would be an idea, because then the adepts would be dealing damage and then the zealots would have the charge kind of role. That's what I'm thinking right now. Obviously, you know, maybe I'll do a game now against Zerg and we'll see how that matchup goes. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's a lot of way to go about adepts. I'm not sure which is the correct one though. The Fritz, thank you so much for 2 years. Welcome back. Garfield StarCraft, thank you so much for the 11 bucks. Thank you so much. Says thanks for all the YouTube videos that I watch like every day. Hey, you're very welcome and thank you so much. I'm glad you're enjoying them. Thank you. It's great. It's a good feeling to know that you're part of someone's routine.
We don't have enough minerals.
Because I know how that feels like, because I obviously have, you know, YouTube channels or, well, YouTube channels mostly. Because TV shows are not really daily routine because you eventually finish them. But I also have, you know, YouTube channels that I watch, and
That'll cost more minerals than we have.
they kind of become routine, so thank you. Did they keep the slower observer speed? Yeah, well, they haven't said anything about it, so I'm assuming.
We don't have enough minerals.
Okay, let's see. Again, guys, I'm gonna play, you know, a couple of games. This doesn't mean, like, when I finish this game, it doesn't mean, oh, it's, you know, 100% this way. I'm sure some other players will have maybe different input than I will. But from what I've seen from that game, trust me, I've played many games. I can guarantee you, if the Zealots did damage on charge, I would have won that game. So damage-wise, it is a big nerf. But removing the damage for that movement speed increase, is that worth it? I mean, it's not close. I think if I would have to say right now, it's just a straight up nerf, right? Like, it's not, you're not trading one thing for another, because again, you know, do Zealots need more movement speed? And I don't think so. Like, I mean, not with charge and movement speed. I think, again, if they gave it shields, or maybe, I don't know, like shields and the Zealot legs, like from Brood War, maybe, because having this kind of speed with both charge and the just movement speed upgrade is kind of weird, because Brood War was a different game. You know, the Zealot legs worked because the units took longer to get over the map, and the units that the Zealots were fighting for were different units, right? So that's why I'm like,
One of our pylons is under enemy fire. We don't have enough minerals. That'll cost more minerals than we have. Need more minerals for that.
I am the voice.
crap.
State thy bidding.
We don't have enough minerals.
have a plan. I want to test this because I feel like this is probably the best way to test
Glory to the day.
this change.
You require coal.
That'll cost more minerals than we have.
Cold is the void.
Where shall we march? The first board.
Need more minerals for that. That'll cost more minerals than we have. We're done with this.
Like, I want to try the charge lot all in, which I think, by the way, is going to be really bad. So, you know, don't expect too much.
Can't warp that in. We don't have enough minerals. More minerals for that.
Give us your minerals. Yes, Executor.
We need more Beastyqt.
We are one with the shadows.
Research complete.
Okay, let's see. Zealot charge all in. We'll see how successful it will be.
Need more minerals for that.
I'm gonna guess not very.
That's gonna require.
The thing is, they are really fast, and you literally can't kite them with roaches.
That'll cost more minerals.
But they're doing so much less damage. Like, if you look at it, right?
I guess that'll cost more minerals than we have.
Look, the roaches cannot kite them without getting hit.
Energy's too low. Our warriors are under attack.
The damage is just like not there. Like, it makes these kinds of pushes so much weaker. I mean, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I don't know if it's a good or bad thing. But you can do micro like this now. You know, where you move command, attack, move command, attack. Because you can keep up with the roaches a lot easier. And you're not reliant only on charge in order to get to the roaches.
That'll cost more minerals.
You can disengage a lot easier as well. That's another thing, right? Like, you can just run away from the roaches. There's nothing stopping you.
That can't work without a power grid. Looks like our warriors are seeing some action. Need more minerals for that. Our warriors are under attack. More minerals for that. I guess that's
You can see that, like, even when they get on top of the roaches, it's just like kind of tickling them a little bit. Tickle, tickle.
that'll cost more minerals than
Can I kill him with just this? Like, look, the queen can't kite at all. Like, there's just no kiting potential.
We stand as one.
Nothing left in that mineral cluster.
My meditation is
Now, against Zerg, I feel like they play out differently. Because, so, this is what I'm thinking. This is my judgment, final say kind of thing after these two games, right? Obviously not enough games. So what do I think about this? Well, against Terran, in the past, when you face Double Forge, you have to kite, because they do a lot of damage, they do damage on charge. So when they charge, you want to drag them back as much as you can and stuff like that. But honestly, is there even a need, if you're a Terran, to like kite too much against Zealots? I mean, they do way less damage, right? So the stutter step micro versus Terran is not really going to help you too much, I would say. It will help you against siege tanks, right? And it will help against mech. But at the same time, even though it will help against siege tanks, you're gonna do way less damage like we saw in the first game, right? And in the second game. So it's like, the question is, that has to be figured out, which I don't think it's worth. Is the damage of the charge, losing it, is that worth gaining that extra speed? And in what situation would that really benefit you? And I don't think it is. I personally think that if we look at it at high level, I would say this is a nerf for Zealots overall. Yes, it's a change, it's different, but I think it is a nerf. Because this is not a straight up balance change, because it's changing the design of the unit. It's changing how the unit works, right? I still do think that the best way for Blizzard to go about this is having the Zealot charge upgrade, whatever you want to call it, Zealot leg upgrade, give them that movement speed, maybe even a little bit more, but increase their health by like 30-40 as well. So then they are the engagement unit where you're supposed to run into tanks, run into lurkers, tank the damage. You do a lot of damage, yes, but you're not, flying everywhere with Zealots. And then have it so that the Adepts have an upgrade that gives them bonus damage, bonus attack speed, bonus range, I don't know, something. So that there's a clear distinction between the Zealots and their Adepts, right? The Zealots are fast, they are mobile, tier 1 units that trade well versus links depending on the upgrades. They can engage sieged up units well, like siege tanks, like lurkers, but they're also tankier. They would have more health / shields than Adepts. Adepts would be the ranged unit that deals damage, and that would be used differently. Because if we saw that game, right, my Zealots had, free time to do whatever they wanted in the mineral line, but I killed so few drones, I feel like, because of the no charge. They just dealt way less damage. In this kind of situation, it doesn't make sense for you to drop and warp in 8 Zealots, because, what is the point, right? You can, if I had no charge in that game and I was trying to kill just drones, the no charge would have done the same, because I don't need movement speed to move in mineral lines. Charge is okay, but no bonus damage. And if you drop the Adepts that had damage upgrades and damage abilities, then obviously they would be way more deadly. And they would be weaker at tanking units, right? So versus Terran, I think this is just a straight up nerf. Versus Zerg, I can see this having different roles. You have to think about it like you're basically removing effectively a lot of all-ins that Protoss has with charge lots. Yes, they want to nerf the Zerg scouting by 25. But then the question is, are there any all-ins that Protoss can do without Zealots? Yeah, there's Adepts, but how good are they? Then you're leaving no space for Protoss all-ins. And the Adept upgrade that they want to do kind of doesn't align with the all-ins. It's just kind of weird. That's kind of my opinion. What about the upgrade also giving like 2-3 armor during the charge? It's like, that's what I'm saying. That would make more sense, right? Because then it's a tanking unit. That's what it does. The thing is, giving it 2-3 armor versus Terran, I think would be insane. That's why I would rather go for straight up health or shields buff. because 3 armor or even 2 armor versus bio would be quite a huge buff, like huge buff, right? So yeah, you know, they can have like a, you know, if they want to explain it from fantasy point of view, they can explain it like Zealots charge in and like, you know, save for the horde and, you know, gets 50 extra health for 10 seconds or something like that, you know. 2-3 armor during charge, I mean, still same thing. That wouldn't really do anything against Zerg, but it would do everything against Terran. Now, how would this change PvP? I mean, we already see a lot of PvP builds with adepts, with glaives, whether it's 1 base all-ins or 2 base all-ins. And we kind of saw less 2 base and 1 base play with charge lots. I mean, you never see 1 base with charge lots. So I think this would only push PvP into more Blink Stalkers. Actually, probably a lot of Blink Stalkers, or it would be like between Blink Stalkers and defensive meta games with, or meta builds with like Immortal Adept, something like that. I just don't see a situation where you would prefer Zealots in PvP. That's the thing. Like, they just wouldn't do as much if they're in this state. But again, if you give them extra health, you know. But that's, you know, that's still up in the air. Again, these changes are not final. If you guys are watching on Twitch, we're gonna keep going. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, I would love to hear your guys' opinion on the new Zealots. That, again, the damage is definitely nerfed, but they're kind of trying to change the role. So, you know, have to have that in consideration. But yeah, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, thank you for watching. We're gonna test Infestors now, the new ones. Smell you later. That's my sign off for that YouTube video. Smell you later.